What's good, it's your boy ATK Reaction, and today, bro, this is crazy to think about. Film Theory just dropped a video about Dune, and literally yesterday I watched Dune 1 for the first time, and today I just seen Dune 2 in the movie, so I'm finally equipped to speak on that movie. I'm not gonna lie, if y'all didn't seen Dune 2, bro, that definitely is the best movie of the year so far. That movie was a 9.5 out of 10 to me. It was amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. But let's see what Film Theory talking about when it comes to this, to the movie, bro. If y'all not sub, that sub button, like button, let's get to it. All right, y'all, this is Film Theory. I found Dune's dirty little secret. Like, I don't know what they talking about, but let's see. Your water belongs to the tribe. Hey, yo. That's sacred water right there, man. That's a lot of sacred water, man.
Rest in peace, my friend. Your water belongs to the tribe. Wait, what is this?
I like, ooh.
This is Diet Coke? What is with this steerers and their Diet Coke?
Wait, what?
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, the show that has milked the worm, drank the juice, and seen the universe.
The water of life. They drunk the water.
My God, it's full of stars. So something you're gonna quickly learn about me is that I love science fiction, and there is no other story more important to the genre than Dune. Have you ever seen a sci-fi movie go to a desert planet, or have a complex political conflict that escalates into a galaxy-wide war? That means a certain somebody read Dune. Though the movie doesn't really explain this, Dune is set some 20,000 years in the future, where there are a few noble families that walk a complicated political tightrope for control of the whole galaxy. Think Game of Thrones, but in space. Or I guess Game of Thrones would be Dune without space. The most important world in this universe, however, is Arrakis, a desert planet home to the spice, a drug that expands your mind and lets you see bits and pieces of the future. Without spice in that future site, space travel is impossible, and that's kind of important for your sci-fi space story. Now, Dune has seen its fair share of attempted adaptations over the years. Some bad.
The guild does not take your...
What the heck?
And others worse.
He who controls the spice controls the universe.
But finally, we have the perfect adaptation that this series deserves.
That was a great
they have to make the third movie now, or we riot. But in the meantime, now that Dune has well and truly broken into the mainstream, I thought we should revisit the series for another theory. Now, don't you worry if you don't know your Caladans from your Kwisatz Haderachs. We're not diving into Dune's complex politics or funny made-up words. Nah, today I wanted to take a look at the planet that made Dune famous, Arrakis, and what you'd need to survive on it. Obviously, this world is hot. A scorching desert where water is more valuable than life, so much so that it's sacred to the local Fremen people. And they take that seriously. On this world, your water, your tears,
don't waste your tears on, water on tears.
It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the tribe, and wasting it by crying or vomiting, not okay.
That part was nasty.
Spitting is seen as a sign of great respect because it's giving your water.
Stilgar, for the gift of your body's moisture.
To get as much water as possible, the Fremen have developed a lot of tech to get every last drop that they can. Wind traps capture what little moisture is in the air. Death stills extract water from fallen friend and foe alike. And of course, there are the still suits. You know, those really cool black costumes that we see Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya wearing in all the posters. When worn, these still suits are able to reclaim almost all of the water someone loses in a given day, purifying it and allowing them to drink it all over again. Now, on the surface, recycling and then sipping on the water of your own body sounds kinda gross. And you know what? It is. Thankfully, it's all fiction. Or is it? Today, I want to really dive into the science behind these.
Hold on, bro. We're not gonna skip past that. What you doing with that, my boy? Don't just start saying things like that. I don't know. Y'all know a lot of facts.
How they work in the movie, how they're powered, and exactly how they reclaim all of that water. And see if this piece of science fiction is actually science fact. Long live the fighters, loyal theorists. Let's see if a still suit holds any water. Alright, so the best place for us to start here is exactly why the still suits are so important. And it comes down to why water is so important. Our bodies are somewhere between 55 and 60% water. So a 154-pound or 70-kilogram Timothée Chalamet would have have a little over 42 liters or 92 pounds of water in his body at any given time. All of that water is necessary for you to regulate your temperature, lubricate your joints, and get rid of waste, that sort of thing. If you don't drink water, your body doesn't work, and just 3 days without water can be fatal. Now, normally you'd lose somewhere between 2.5 and 3 liters of water per day in average conditions here on Earth. But if you're working hard or in a hot climate, like say, I don't know, running from a sandworm on a desert planet where temperatures can reach as high as 138 degrees Fahrenheit, 59 degrees Celsius.
I ain't gonna lie, 138 is crazy. Once it hits 97, 98, you don't catch me outside no more, bro. So 138,
lose as much as 19 liters per day. That would be almost half of Timothée Chalamet's water. Obviously, that would be bad. In fact, the movie even points out that on Arrakis,
even this early in the morning, you wouldn't survive 2 hours without one of these.
So you can see why these still suits are so important for the characters in Dune. But what exactly do they do? Well, still suits are able to capture nearly every drop of water that a person would ordinarily lose during day-to-day activities.
You don't pee in it though, right?
Filtered in the suit so it can be drunk through a straw in the mask, creating a sort of closed loop of water.
In good working order, your suit won't lose more than a thimbleful of water a day.
Would a civilization 20,000 years in the future know what a thimble is? I barely know what a thimble is. Anyway, by that metric, that means you'd be losing about 5 milliliters of water a day. Again, if you're losing about 19 liters of water, that means the still suits are recovering 99.97% of the water lost. That's incredibly efficient, and a pretty good explanation of how you'd survive on this desert planet. But is that figure realistic? Could we feasibly do this in the real world, on our real planet, and not in some crazy sci-fi future? Well, to answer that, we need to look at 3 things. How we lose water in our day-to-day lives, how to capture that water, and then how to make it safe to drink, if we can do that at all. Let's start with number 1 way someone on Arrakis is going to be losing their water. Undoubtedly, their sweat. Sweat is roughly 99% water, with the other 1% being various salts and fats. And a person can sweat between 500 milliliters and 10 liters per day if you're doing hard work in the heat. Yeah, 10 liters. That's 5 of those big sodas you see in the grocery store. But sweating is more than just producing salty water. It's actually critical for us to maintain our body temperatures. The average internal temperature of the human body is around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius. But every time you move, breathe, or even think, your body produces excess heat. Sweat is how your body gets rid of that extremely hot, with the water in sweat evaporating and taking the heat with it, thus cooling you down. This is actually why the whole idea of a skin-tight suit isn't exactly something you'd expect to come from a desert-faring civilization. I mean, just look at what people in the real world actually wear if they live in arid parts of the planet, like the Middle East or North Africa. They tend to be large gowns or robes made from breathable fabric that intentionally fits loosely on the body. This way, sweat can freely build up and evaporate. Your body actually disperses 90% of its heat through sweat alone, which is gonna be kind of difficult if you can't sweat at all. Yeah, you might have noticed that evaporation is kind of critical for this whole system to work. And if you've ever worn a skin-tight piece of clothing before, you know that fabric breathability is a must. Thankfully, though this isn't really explored in the movie, this is something the original author Frank Herbert thought of for the still suits. As the character Liet Kynes puts it, the skin contact layer is porous. Perspiration passes through it, having cooled the body, a near normal evaporation process. So to translate, the layer of the suit that...
I'm about to say, if he wasn't going to explain it, I was going to act like I knew what it meant, but I promise you, I had no clue.
Touches your skin is covered in little holes that let sweat pass through. This is actually how most athletic wear works in the real world. Moving on, the number 2 way your body loses its water is through your breath. Yeah, that might come as a bit of a surprise, but have you ever wondered why you can see your breath when it's cold outside? Why glass fogs up when you breathe on it? Or why you sometimes wake up with a super dry mouth? It's because you exhale water every single time you breathe. However, unlike sweat, our breath only contains about 0.05% water, which adds up to you breathing out about a cup of water every single day. Not as much as a bunch of 2 liters, but still super valuable to the Fremen. This is actually why all the Fremen wear those face masks and nose tubes. Well, unless you're a named character, then you gotta prune up in the desert because you are a recognizable actor. My apologies to Zendaya's skincare routine.
Wear your sunscreen.
And as for number 3, it's going number 1. Yep, it's pee. Listen, we all knew this one was coming. For a person in an average environment who isn't sweating up a storm, urine is actually the biggest source of water water loss in any given day,
Okay, it makes
with
sense.
somewhere between 800 and 2,000 milliliters of pure pee. That's enough to fill up a 2 liter of Mountain Dew without anyone noticing. Urine is 95%
like
water, with the
trash,
rest
but-
being urea, salts, and ammonia. So you can imagine why the
About how
friendly
Blasco
would be
hit.
pissed to lose any of that liquid gold. Now, before you see that 95% water figure and decide to go all Bear Grylls on your toilet bowl, despite popular opinion,
I don't. What does that mean? What did he do with the toilet bowl?
is not sterile. You should not be drinking this stuff.
Yeah.
This is my 3rd episode, and I'm already giving a PSA on not to drink your own pee. What are we doing here, guys? Urine contains bacteria that can make you sick.
Yeah, you don't
All
wanna
that
do that,
salt
man.
wouldn't just make it taste awful.
I hope none of y'all was doing it
Ironically,
already.
It would dehydrate you in the same way ocean water would, so not something you'd be in the mood for.
What's mood to do with it?
So our still
Hey.
suits are gonna need a way to purify all this
That was funny.
sweaty pee breath, as gross as that sounds, but this is totally within the realm of possibility. In fact, we don't even have to look at some future sci-fi tech. This is something that real-world space agencies like NASA are using
space
right
suits.
now. Keeping the scientists on the International Space Station, or ISS, alive is no easy feat, and getting supplies to space is very
Mountain Dew and
expensive.
Doritos.
It costs roughly $2,500 to send a single pound into space. And considering that each astronaut drinks
a
about
pound.
1 gallon of water, 8.3 pounds every single day, that means it would cost NASA about $20,850 per astronaut per day just to keep them hydrated. As a result, NASA had to get really clever about recycling water and developed a system that would make the Fremen proud. For sweat and breath, the ISS is equipped with a super advanced dehumidifier that collects all of that sweet, sweaty breath. And as for the pee, the astronauts have a special toilet that sucks away all of their urine into a rapidly spinning drum, whose high speed allows for the distillation of the water from the rest of the urine. Then, all the reclaimed water is filtered and funneled back into the astronaut's tap. Is this why kids don't want to be astronauts?
Yeah, but that's kind of.
Regardless, according to
a little
NASA, this
disgusting,
stuff
I'm
is
not gonna lie.
actually cleaner than the water that comes out of
you
your
know
own
that.
faucet. And the newest version of this system is
I'm
able to recycle
good off that.
98% of an astronaut's sweat, breath, and urine, which is shockingly close to that 99.97% we
Hold on now.
calculated for the still suits. And
You
you know,
about to be
I
the
think
Freeman
in the
in real life?
20,000-year difference between modern day and the time of Dune, we'll be able to up the efficiency by that couple percentage points and get this tech small enough to fit into a still suit. But
I
urine,
believe
sweat,
it.
and breath isn't the only way you lose water. There's a 4th major draw of water from your body, and it's a big old stinky number 2. It's your
Ooh.
poop. Now, at first,
Nah,
the idea of there
recycling
being
dookie water, that's where I draw the line at, bro. We not recycling no dookie water in it around here, bro. That's
all that much
That's
water in
crazy.
your normal poop might seem strange, but it's actually 75% water. The rest is made up of salts, undigested foods, and bacteria. You know, all the stuff that makes the bathroom especially fragrant. That's an issue because, just like urine, all that bacteria can make you really sick. And they can also give you diarrhea, which can dehydrate you quickly, thus leading to a swift death in the heat of Arrakis. Unfortunately, this sort of
Yo.
sickness isn't just a problem
Yo.
you'd face in
This-
science
this right
fiction.
here.
Fecal contamination of water supplies is a serious
This right
problem
here is
in
where I
the
draw the
real
line,
world.
bro.
Because of
We
this,
ain't doing
plenty of
that.
scientists have put a lot of work into treating this water to make it drinkable in as efficient a way and in as small a space as possible. For example, meet the Janicki Omni Processor, a system funded by Bill Gates that turns raw sewage into fresh, clean drinking water using substantially smaller
What
machines
brand of
than
water
normal
that be?
waste treatment plants. The idea is to boil the raw
Let me
sewage,
know what brand of
removing
water
the
that
water
be,
from
bro.
the rest of it. Then bam! The water condensates in a clean environment, and in as little as 5 minutes, it turns your poop into something slightly better than Dasani. It sure is, Bill. You're drinking poop water. So we can reclaim almost all of the water we lose in our stinkiest armpits and from the depths of our toilets. But doing so is going to require a lot of power. So where are the still suits getting this energy?
Bro.
I mean, they're not powered by Duracell after all.
That-
Well,
I
the answer in
can't.
both the movie and in real life
Spice?
is your own body.
Your body's movements provide
Right.
the power.
Yep, this isn't water power, air power, or even desert power. It's good old
energy?
human power. And
Oh,
this
human
isn't
power,
some
okay.
crazy future sci-fi tech. Using the human body to generate electricity is something we're taking baby steps in right now. Case in point, scientists at MIT were able to generate 1 watt via heel pumps, enough to power the flashlight on your phone. Not bad for just walking around, and
True.
they're not alone. Researchers in Germany have been working on
that
similar
inside they
wearable
foot?
tech,
Oh,
while
it's in the shoe.
Japanese scientists want to develop sidewalks that generate power by people walking on them.
But at nighttime, nobody will be outside, bro.
By the time of Dune, this sort of energy conversion from movement would be much easier, and could take advantage of more than just walking. As the book explains, motions of the body, especially breathing, provide the power for the suit. So even breathing would be giving us what we need here. All in all, still suits are looking pretty possible.
They
We're
do, but
already
hopefully I don't need to
filtering
use
our
them, bro.
bodily fluids back into drinking water, and the technology to power it with our bodies is in the early stages. This science fiction is starting to sound a lot like science reality.
Yeah, definitely.
But we are forgetting one crucial part: keeping cool. Remember when we talked about how sweat actually keeps you cool? It evaporates, taking the heat with it and cooling your body off.
Yep.
Well, the opposite happens when water condensates. Like, say, if you want to get drinkable water from evaporated sweat or boiled poop. Yeah, after running the numbers, condensating the water from the sweat and poop of Paul Atreides would release over 43 million joules of heat energy, enough to raise the temperature of the water in his body by over 10 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit every hour. If that sounds like a lot, it is. But remember, it's also over his whole body and over a prolonged period. Don't get me wrong, that's still really bad on a desert planet, where staying cool is the key to survival.
Yeah.
And even without all of that, remember that we said that the human body produces a lot
That's a walking bathroom.
In fact, even if you just sit down and do nothing, your body is still producing 100 watts of power. That's enough to turn on a light bulb. And all that means is that running around the desert fighting Harkonnens is gonna make a lot more heat than that. Now, the books hand-waved this with some fake technobabble, but it doesn't really get that specific. But since we're really diving into this, I want some real answers on how the body is getting cooled. My first thought was to just vent the heat, but that's not gonna work. For one, venting the heat could run the risk of letting some water evaporate with it.
True.
We don't want that. And the other problem is going to be the direction that heat flows. Generally, heat goes from hot things to cold things, not the other way around. When you pick up an ice cube, even though it feels like the coldness is going into your hand, the heat from your hand is actually going into the ice cube. Therefore, if we want heat to flow out of the suit, the air inside is going to have to be hotter than the exterior temperature. But remember, Arrakis is about 138 degrees Fahrenheit or 59 degrees Celsius. Much hotter than the human body at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, 37 degrees Celsius. So all a ventilation system is going to do is let hot air in. We are going to need something else. But we can find the answer in a surprising place. Let me ask you, what is the only place on Earth that is even more inhospitable than the deserts of Arrakis?
I don't know.
Comic-Con. No, I'm not joking. Stay with me here. If you've ever worn a full body costume, you'll understand just how hot it can get in there. And someone who knows this struggle all too well is former Mythbuster and true science hero Adam Savage. Yeah, if you didn't know, on top of being an excellent educator, Adam is also an accomplished cosplayer who has gone incognito at major conventions. And he knows exactly how hot it can get in these full body costumes.
That is the hottest I have ever been in my whole life. Let's go to the room. I could use a glass of water.
So, to counteract this, Adam and his team devised a
y'all
system
being there
that
dying
would
like
keep
that
them
with
at
the
a
heat?
safe temperature while wandering the con floor. And the way they did it? A refrigerated cooling suit. That is exactly what we need to finally make a still suit.
He already had the still suit. What are we doing this for? This man got still suits already.
Reality. A typical kitchen fridge works by pumping a fluid under high pressure and then expanding it, therefore cooling it down since fewer of the fluid's molecules are able to bounce into each other. This cooled fluid is pumped into your fridge, where it absorbs the latent heat from your food, which therefore reheats the fluid and starts the whole process all over. Using this process, you can make pretty much anything, including a person, any temperature you'd like. This entire system is known as a heat exchanger, which, wouldn't you know it, lines up with what little we do know about how still suits cool the body. The techno-babble from the books say that the still suits have a heat exchange system, exactly like a fridge. And this tech doesn't need to be as big as a kitchen refrigerator. In fact, the US military invested into making this technology smaller, all to keep their soldiers cool in the desert. Huh, doesn't that sound familiar? So, despite sounding far out and entirely impossible, the still suits are actually a lot more science fact than fiction. We can reclaim almost all of the water we lose through sweat, breath, urine, and feces.
We can
power it through movement. And we can create a skin-tight suit that'll keep you cool in the desert. All in all, mark this one up as a win for Dune. Truly, it is
predicting the future.
But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory.
Yes, sir.
And cut.
Shout out to Film Theory. Go to their page, hit that sub button over there. Now, if y'all didn't see Dune, bro, like I said at the beginning, I need y'all to go see Dune immediately. That movie is amazing. The first one is really good. The second one is almost perfect. But I'm not gonna lie, me personally, unless I had to wear a steel suit, I don't think I'm wearing one, bro. I didn't know there was peeing and pooping in the suits. I get you gotta use all the water you gotta use, bro, but I can't drink. I can't knowingly sitting there and drink dookie water like that. I can't do it, bro. Cause you gonna take a deuce, right? 2 minutes later, you gonna get a big thing of water just nah, bro, that's crazy. I can't do that. Can't do that. Hey Paul, bro. I don't know how you do it, bro, but I can't. I might sit this one out. But let me know down below if y'all enjoyed the video. If y'all not sub, hit that sub button, that like button. Boys, ATK Reacts, and we out of here.